Okay, there's different stages in the new construction process when you're building. The first one is deciding you want to build. So that's when we meet with the wonderful representative of the builder who will give us all the numbers and all the time frames, permits, what's happening in your area. So let's say you decide to build from scratch. We got to pick out a lot for your house to sit on. So let's go pick out a lot. All right, so when you're picking out a lot, the builder's going to want to charge you what's called a lot premium, and this is going to go against every nerve in your body. You're going to have to pay the dirt money though if you want the really great lots. The great lots are going to be the most level ones that back up to trees and have some privacy, or they're in a cul-de-sac with a very usable yard, or they're a basement lot. And in North Carolina, the best basement lots have a kind of a slope to them, but they level out at the bottom so you have some usable space. The lots that are going to be less expensive are going to have some slope to them, either down or up, or they're going to have no privacy at all, as in sitting here with neighbors all the way around. But hey, if you're an exhibitionist, right up your alley. So let's look at this particular house right here. This is the next stage in construction, because after you pick out a lot and get it started, there'll be footers laid for a foundation. That's kind of boring on video, but we'll talk about this stage right here, which is what we call pre-drywall, pre-sheetrock, where you can see the framing and the bones of the house. So let's walk inside. By the way, this is why realtors do not own fancy shoes when we do new construction. I grew up the granddaughter of a builder, so I grew up on and around building sites. I don't mind getting dirty. That's a very important question to ask your realtor if you're building a house. Do you mind getting dirty? If they say no, they might not do new construction. Okay, so before we go inside the property, you should know I have permission to be on this job site by the rep and by my license. Don't go into new construction without permission, because there's a lot of liability involved. Be smart. These are places under construction. There's work going on. With that being said, let's go in through the garage. And what you'll see here, all of this green that's sprayed here is part of your pest protection for the future. So you want to protect the house all the way up a little bit. These, now this might sound basic for some of y'all, but you should know this is called a stud. It's a 2x4. I know you're married to one, but this is a stud in the house. This is plywood, also known as sheathing, OSB. These are your windows. These are insulated windows. It's very important to find out the energy efficient things in a house. Okay, so when you come in the front door, you should know only 15% of the American population is estimated to be able to visualize beyond what they're seeing in front of them. So if you're one of those people that can stand here and see a house, you're in the minority. All you other people, that's why model homes exist. So I'll tell you, this is your front living room, and this is your dining room. How do I know this? Because I've been selling houses for a whole heck ton of years. Now you'll see this little bracing up here, that little circle box, that's your wire for your light fixture. That's going to be your chandelier. It's braced a little differently because chandeliers are heavy. And then you have something over here I need y'all to pay attention to. See this stud right here? Remember we talked about studs? See how it's got an arc to it? We call this a bowed stud. It's not straight. And so it can be okay as long as the bow is inside. If the bow comes this way, your wall is going to look really wonky in certain lights. So this is one of the reasons that when you're building a home from scratch, we absolutely recommend you bring in a professional home inspector. I have the best guys ever in the Charlotte area. They're going to look for things like this and give you a chance to get it fixed before the drywall goes up. Because y'all, once that drywall's up, you won't see these studs again, but you'll see the after effects. Now you'll see here you are in the family room slash great room slash whatever you want to call it. You got your nice little gas fireplace over in the corner, and you'll see things like this line in the concrete. Now don't freak out when you see a line in the concrete. That is a joint, and joints are to allow concrete to crack in the right spots. Because there's two kinds of concrete, y'all. There's concrete that has cracked, and there's concrete that's going to crack. And when you've got the correct seams and joints, the crack lands in the right place and not up under your pretty floors. Now this is your kitchen. Y'all can already guess this is your island right here. This is a plumbing attachment. So that's where your sink is going to be. You see you've got hot and you've got cold. This is going to be very important to you when you're cooking. And then we also have over here a hookup for your ice maker, for your refrigerator. You're going to have a pantry right here in the corner. This framing indicates where that space is going to be. And look how helpful this builder is. They marked out oven and cooktop for this client. And you can already guess, is it going to be electric or gas? We saw gas in the model. They've got the gas line already marked here. Now you see why you want the gas done early. If you want it, make sure that you get that done when you start from scratch. Also, don't freak out when you see things like this orange foam. That is not some alien infestation of the house. That is a sealing foam to make sure the house is sealed properly, which is another thing that matters for energy efficiency. So if the builder did not have it sealed, the home inspector would look for that against the exterior walls and make sure you're not going to have any little cold spots in your kitchen. Now let's walk upstairs and I'm going to show y'all an easy way to know how to measure a room. Now you'll notice on these stairs under construction, you've got a made-up handrail railing there. That's not what it's going to look like when it's finished. That's there for safety and for code purposes. If you're building a house from scratch, you have to decide not to freak out all the time because it's going to look very imperfect during the process. A lot of times, builders save the good parts for the very last buttoning up of the house so that they're not replacing things multiple times. Now, check out the plywood sheets on the floor. Here is a fun tip for you. These are 4 feet across. So I can look at this floor and see that it is 4 plus 4, which is 8. That's about 3. Let's call that 11. This is about 3 more. That's about 14. So you're about 14 feet in this direction. Easy way for you to gauge the size. Again, as I mentioned, a lot of people can't visualize. So if you are not good at visualizing, this space could feel really small. When you realize it's 14 feet, you're good. And I'll also give y'all a fun little factoid here. I have learned in the course of doing real estate that I, Leigh Brown, am the width of a queen bed from fingertip to fingertip. So a good realtor is going to know their width. We will stand here and let you see that if I am the width of a queen bed, you can put the bed here and a nightstand on either side and maybe even a chair in the corner, no problem. So here in the bathroom is what I want y'all to see that is not worth freaking out about. You're going to have a beautiful separate shower here and a beautiful soaking tub. The tub has a little bit of dirt and grossness in it. That's not going to freak you out though, because you know the builders are going to clean and clean and clean and make it great before you move in. But leaving it like this saves them from doing it 3 and 4 times. So just take a little zen moment there and breathe while you're building your house. You'll see here you're going to have a little potty closet. We affectionately call this the man closet because men like the private potty room more than the ladies do. And it's going to have a giant closet. This shower is not all the way complete yet, but you can see that's going to be your shower head. When they finish this back work here, my home inspector always looks at these pipes to make sure they're strapped down. Now see, this one is already hooked in. That keeps your pipes from rattling when you cut your shower on. A lot of builders forget that because it's not necessarily going to come up on code. So our job as your realtor, make sure we get you somebody great to look at this and make sure it's good for the long term. I'll also show you that this member right here is a natural piece of wood. Why is it not beautiful and sanded and perfectly perfect? Because it doesn't have to be to have integrity. It's going to be inside your drywall and your sheetrock, so you don't freak out over that as long as it is the correct width and strength, and this looks really good.